Today's podcast is brought to you by Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott. It is Monday. We are back. Paula's... Oh, I forgot to fix that still. Well, it's just me and an unnamed studio member.
It's fine. It's fine. I know you've been making mine 1 pixel shorter every show anyway.
It is Monday after what was quite possibly the most beautiful Sunday in all of existence.
Wow.
Sunday, 75-degree high, 50-degree low. That is Brad's optimal range for a day.
Yeah, you sound like one of those Market Watch articles about where do I retire.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm looking for a place that doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold, but it's a really low cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
I also like these really specific foods. I have allergies, medical conditions. Oh, I don't have any money. It's like, where should I live? It's like,
I also need a place where I can buy LG phones. That is...
Right. Yeah, that was kind of overdue, huh?
Yeah, for those who aren't watching the headlines, LG has officially announced that they are exiting the mobile phone business that is effectively dominated by Apple, Samsung, probably Huawei. Or probably
not anymore. Huawei is...
Well, outside the U.S. Global expanse.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot of it's just like any other market. It's a mature market now. There's little guys are getting pushed out. Although LG's not really little, but they did.
Yeah, I mean, obviously after the iPhone came out, there was a lot of action along this front. Companies struggling and then failing, and now we're on more of a slow boil thing. But yeah, I mean, I think the industry is kind of rolled out to where it's going to be. I mean, it's 2/3 Android or more. I guess 80%, whatever the number is, and then Samsung is pretty much Android at this point, unfortunately. But what are you going to do?
Ghostbusters. Anyways, so they made some notable phones. They kind of tried with some crazy things like the LG like Wing thing, but the one that I remember the most, which nobody will probably be thinking about right now, is the LG Chocolate. Which
that does actually sound familiar. That wasn't a candy bar type phone, was it? Or
no, it was actually this was like pre iPhone days, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's like a little slider. It was
slider.
It was on Verizon.
Okay. Yeah, there were a lot of little weird phones like that back in the day, back when carriers could kind of demand. Well, I guess they actually still do, but carriers used to run the show.
Yes.
That has, and actually, we could credit Apple with changing that. I mean,
that's not a bad.
I think. I mean, the world might have been different if Verizon had opted on day one to go with Apple, but they turned them down, and they ended up with like a third tier player, Singular, which turned into AT&T. But yeah, I mean, it's possible the world would have been different if a big smartphone company had agreed. But I think Apple wanted too much control, so maybe they weren't going to bend on this either way. I don't know. Anyway, different world for sure.
That it is. It is a Monday following a holiday weekend. It's
Yeah, shouldn't we be taking today off?
I feel like I say that every day. It's like, something that is coming to Microsoft Teams, which is surprisingly long overdue, but I just saw it pop up this morning. So they're finally introducing meeting IDs to Teams meetings. So right now, if you want to join the meeting, I got to send you that link. And imagine the scenario, you're on a phone call and it's like you can't type into your computer HTTP, that doesn't
Don't
work.
Forget the S. Yeah, exactly.
So they're finally attaching now meeting IDs to every single meeting, starting in May, I think, is when it is going to roll out. So then it's just a 13-digit number. You can just punch that thing in and join a meeting. I don't know why this took so long, but
I'm sure they thought tapping on a link made more sense, but I think that's not always possible. And yeah.
So
anyway, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That is good. I don't know. What else is going on? Anything?
No.
That actually has two more things. One thing you should check out is Behind the Tech podcast. Behind the Tech. Actually, it's by Kevin Scott. You've probably heard that name, but if you haven't, that's okay. He is the chief technology over at Microsoft. He has a podcast called Behind the Tech. You can find it on all major platforms. This week, we are talking about Tom's groundbreaking research. Actually, this is episode 22, I believe. Yes, it is. It is episode 22. It's talking about neuroscience, background technology, and all that good stuff. You should definitely check it out. We'll find links down in the description here. I believe it's Tom Daniels is that name. I don't know why I pulled off the actual page. I did a real smart thing there for a Monday when you're trying to talk about an episode.
You're smart.
Tom Daniel. I was correct. Neuroscientist and bioengineer. All major podcast platforms. Unlike Paul Thurrott, who is on one major podcast platform. Actually, that's not even true. I don't know.
Anyway.
So this happened on Friday, and I messaged it to Paul, and I do not fault Paul at all for this, because MLB The Show is coming to Game Pass day one. And Paul's like, okay, great. And the only reason this is really big deal is that it's made by PlayStation Studios, which is the equivalent of Pigs Flying for Game Pass, which is it's honestly just a really the only thing I can think of is
coming to Xbox is huge.
Yeah,
coming to Game Pass is like next level crazy.
Yeah, it really kind of makes you wonder who was driving that conversation. I can't imagine it was Sony. I suspect it was the MLB saying, "Hey, you guys got to put this thing on Xbox or something."
Yeah, I mean, look, Sony pushed back against cross-play for years. They seem to have finally embraced it. I think this is the ultimate extension of that. This game is more valuable if the people can play against more people, and I'm sure that played a role in that. It's not coming to the PC, is it? I think it's just Xbox, right?
I think it's just console.
Yeah, I think
it's
so
just
too.
console. I mean, now that it's on Xbox, like we all know that going from Xbox to PC is not that much harder, so it wouldn't surprise me if it shows up, but sure. I have no idea if sporting games are honestly even that big on PC at all, like Madden or anything like that.
This would be like Google releasing Maps on Windows Phone today, Nobody? Nothing? Okay. Too soon? Still too soon.
Too soon?
Okay, sorry.
Oh, man. Anyways, it is Monday. We have all checked our email and all cried collectively.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, so to go check out Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott. It's a great, wonderful podcast. You should definitely go check that out. We'll be back tomorrow. He'll be there. I'll be here. Hopefully the podcast will still be running.
And maybe I'll even have a little, title card thing there.
Yeah, I want to get your hopes up.